Hi there, I'm Donna here at On the Rocks. This week we're doing inventory, but I thought I'd stop for a few minutes and play around with some beads. I'm doing a lot of tubular herringbone right now. It makes a wonderful chain or even a bracelet all by itself, but of course you can also incorporate it into all kinds of other designs. So I thought I'd put together a little techniques video for you on how to do the stitch. The one I'm going to show you today is 4 beads around, and it makes a really nice chain. I love working with delicas on the tubular herringbone because it's just such a nice fine delicate looking chain. But you can use any beads you want, really. The round size 11s or 8s are fine too. Just whatever you want to do to play around with. And of course, bigger beads are always easier when you're first learning how to do it. So just grab some beads and let's get started. So here we go. I'm working with size 8 delicas today to show you how to do the herringbone. It's easier to see on the video. And I'm going to start by picking up 4 beads, pulling those down to the end of my thread. And now I'm just going to circle back through all 4 beads like that and tighten the thread. And when I do, it should turn into 2 columns of 2 beads each. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more and then circle back through the second column and up through the 2 I just added. There we go. And that will be my third column. This is a ladder stitch that I'm doing here. 1 more column, pick up 2, stitch back through the last 2, and then come back around to the first 2 again. There we go. Now if I get these all lined up the way I want them, it looks like a nice row of 4 columns. This is what the graphic looks like. There's the first 4, adding 2 more in and circling around, adding 2 more and circling back around. Next, I'm going to fold those columns in half, and then I'm going to circle around to tie the 2 ends together. Now I'll be ready for the herringbone stitches of the next row. All right, so here's what it looks like in real life. Stitching through the opposite end of my ladder stitch base and then circling back down on the other side. There we go. And that closes the base into the 4 columns kind of in a circle. From this point I can go ahead and start my herringbone stitches by picking up 2 beads, then stitching down through the ladder stitch base and up through 1 bead just next to the one I came down. There we go. And then I'm going to do another herringbone stitch by picking up 2 beads, stitching down through that ladder stitch base bead. And this time, when I come back up, I'm going to go through 2 beads, the ladder stitch base and the first bead in the herringbone row. That's a step up so that I'm ready to start my second row. There we go. Again, pick up 2 beads, stitch down through the previous row, come back up through 1 bead, and then pick up 2, stitch down through the previous row, and when let me get that out of the way. When I come back up this time, I'm coming up through 2 beads to step up for the next row. Now, you'll see it's starting to look like a Y shape there at the end, and this is very typical of a tubular herringbone. The Y kind of closes up as you continue adding rows, and the end will always be in a Y shape. Sometimes that comes in kind of handy at the end, and I'll show you an example of that later. But if you don't want the Y shape at the end, you simply add a ladder stitch base on that side, just like we did when we started. So I'm still adding on rows of herringbone, coming up and picking up 2 beads, and then stitching back through the next one and stepping up and doing it again one more time. I think I just want to get enough rows in here to show you how it's going to start looking. As soon as you have enough to hold on to, you'll find it's very easy to do this. It's a lot easier to do it than it is to explain how to do it, I think. There we go. So that's what it starts off with as, and this little herringbone stitch can be used for so many different things. This is an example of the size 11 delicas. This is my favorite little chain that's with the 4 beads around again. This is our starlight pattern, and I've added some super duos and some other beads in place for a nice little necklace there. The chain looks just like a real chain. This bracelet is made using 8 beads around instead of 4, and one set of the herringbone is replaced by the crystal. And you can see this is a great little bracelet too. Both of these patterns you can find on the website if you want the details. You can download them from there, or hopefully you have a few ideas of your own. Happy beading, and I'll see you next time.